You've heard it, just work harder. That's the mantra, right? It's everywhere, on posters, in graduation speeches, and echoing from every corner of social media. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. If you're struggling, it's because you're not trying hard enough, or so they say. Be grateful you even have a job. It's advice tossed around by CEOs, relatives, and motivational speakers, people who act like they've handed you the secret to success. But let's be honest, most of them started the race miles ahead. But you've been working hard, you're exhausted, and yet, you're stuck. You're not alone. Over 60% of millennials report feeling burned out at work, according to a 2021 Gallup poll. The rules keep changing, the goalposts keep moving, and it's not just you, it's the system. Wages have stagnated for decades, while the cost of living and education has skyrocketed. We followed the playbook. Study hard, get the degree, take on debt, and you'll be set. But student debt in the US has ballooned to over $1.7 trillion, and entry-level jobs often require years of experience. But now, the promise of a stable career feels like a relic. The so-called dream job is often just a mirage, one that keeps moving further away. It's like buying a ticket to a concert, only to find out the band broke up. The show you were promised doesn't exist anymore. That just work harder advice? It ignores reality. It doesn't account for automation, outsourcing, or the gig economy replacing full-time jobs with unstable contracts. The world isn't what it was 30 years ago. The narrative works for those at the top, not for us. In fact, the top 1% now owns more wealth than the entire middle class combined. We're burning out before our careers even start, not from lack of effort, but from a system designed to take more than it gives. Burnout isn't a personal failure, it's a symptom of a broken system. This isn't a pity party, it's an investigation. We're not here to complain, we're here to uncover the truth. We're putting the job market under the microscope. Broken promises, impossible expectations, and the numbers that prove it. For example, in 1980, the average college tuition was under $3,000 a year. Now, it's over $10,000, while starting salaries have barely budged. And the toll it takes? It's not just financial, it's mental, emotional, and physical. Anxiety and depression rates among young professionals are at an all-time high. Understanding the game is the first step to changing it. Knowledge is power, and it's time to reclaim some of that power for ourselves. Stop blaming yourself for a system stacked against you. Self-blame only distracts from the real problem and the real solutions. Your frustration is valid. It's a sign something's broken. If you feel like you're running in place, you're not imagining it, and no amount of hustle will fix a rigged system. It's time to stop accepting blame and start demanding change, because the game was never fair to begin with. Remember the promise? Go to college, get good grades, and you'll be set for life. That was the deal we all heard growing up. For decades, a college degree was seen as the golden ticket. In 1970, only about 11% of Americans had a bachelor's degree. Today, it's over 37%. But as more of us enrolled, the price of admission skyrocketed. Since 1980, the average cost of college has increased by over 1,200%, far outpacing inflation and wage growth. We took on massive debt, believing a degree was our ticket to stability. But when we graduated, the locks had changed. Entry-level jobs now require years of experience, and even unpaid internships are fiercely competitive. A bachelor's degree became the new high school diploma. Everyone had one, and its value plummeted. In 2023, nearly 40% of recent grads were underemployed, working jobs that don't require a degree. The cost of education soared, but the payoff shrank. The average student loan debt for the class of 2023 was over $37,000. We're the most educated and most indebted generation. I met Sarah, a biology major, who works 2 part-time jobs just to keep up with her loan payments. Her dream of working in a lab is on hold. We paid premium prices for a degree that now yields diminishing returns. Many of us are accepting jobs that barely cover rent, let alone loan payments. The system required us to take on debt, promising a payoff that rarely came. For every success story, there are dozens struggling to get by. Stability was replaced by crushing loan payments. Nearly 1 in 5 borrowers are behind on their loans. Education isn't worthless, but the economic contract was broken. The degree that once opened doors now often sits unused. The degree became a bottleneck, then lost its power. Employers want more, and we're left scrambling to stand out. We invested in a future that turned out to be a rigged game. For many, the dream of upward mobility has become a cycle of debt and disappointment. The degree wasn't enough. For many of us, the moment we tossed our caps in the air, reality hit hard. The job market demanded more: experience, connections, and a mysterious foot in the door that no one could quite explain. So we turned to internships, hoping they'd be the answer. We spent hours searching, applying, and interviewing, clinging to the hope that this was the bridge to a real job. Supposed to be a bridge to real jobs, internships became a source of cheap, often free, labor. We did the work, sometimes the grunt work, hoping someone would notice. Unpaid internships became the norm, especially in competitive fields like media, fashion, and politics. The message was clear: if you want in, you have to work for free. But experience doesn't pay rent or student loans. I remember my friend Maya, who juggled 2 part-time jobs just to afford her unpaid internship in the city. She'd work late, sleep little, and still barely scrape by. Only those with financial support could afford to work for free, turning internships into a privilege filter. If you didn't have parents who could help, you had to make impossible choices. Access to entire industries became about parental wealth, not talent. My roommate Sam turned down his dream internship because he simply couldn't afford to work for free. If you needed a paying job, you were shut out. The system didn't care about your drive or your ideas, just your bank account. The bridge to a career became a drawbridge for the affluent, pulled up just as the rest of us arrived. This system reinforces inequality and blocks social mobility. It tells us that where we start matters more than how hard we work. Industries lose out on diverse talent, creating echo chambers. The same voices, the same backgrounds, the same ideas, over and over. Internships, once a meritocratic stepping stone, became economic gatekeeping. The door is open, but only for some. It's not about what you know, but whether you can afford to play. The rules are written in invisible ink, legible only to those with means. The system pre-selects for privilege, shutting out countless bright minds. Until we change it, the gateway to opportunity will remain closed for too many. You got the degree, survived the internship, maybe even juggled a part-time job or two, and now you're ready for your first real job. But entry-level jobs demand 3 to 5 years of experience, even for roles like junior developer, marketing assistant, or entry-level analyst. How are you supposed to have experience for a job that's supposed to give you experience? It's the classic chicken and egg problem, but with your career on the line. It's a catch-22. You need the job to get experience, but need experience to get the job. This paradox isn't just frustrating, it's everywhere. The requirements are endless: skills, software, multitasking. Companies want a unicorn for entry-level pay. Even in fields like nursing, design, or IT, entry-level can mean already a pro. This shift happened when companies realized they could hire overqualified people for less. Industry insiders call it talent hoarding, filling junior roles with senior skills. The bar was raised and never lowered. Over the last decade, the average experience required for entry-level jobs has steadily climbed. Now, new grads are expected to arrive fully formed, ready to generate value from day one. There's little room for learning on the job. Training is no longer the employer's job, it's yours. You're expected to self-educate, upskill, and arrive pre-trained, often on your own dime. Entry-level is just code for low pay and high expectations. You're doing more for less. The burden is on you, not the company. Burnout and frustration are common side effects. The term has lost all meaning. In today's job market, entry-level is just another paradox, one that leaves new grads stuck at the starting line. Let's say you finally land a job after months, maybe even years, of searching. But instead of feeling triumphant, you're overqualified and underpaid. This isn't just your story. It's become the new normal for an entire generation. You might have a master's degree, but your daily tasks are basic, repetitive, and far below your skill set. This is underemployment, a symptom of a system that's been shifting for decades. Underemployment isn't new, but it's become more widespread since the late 20th century. In the past, a college degree almost guaranteed a stable, well-paying job. Now, even advanced degrees can leave you stuck in roles that don't match your training. The job market is flooded with educated workers, a trend that accelerated after the 2008 financial crisis. Many take jobs below their skill level just to survive, while others are left waiting for opportunities that may never come. This creates a domino effect. When highly qualified people take entry-level jobs, it pushes others further down the ladder. It's a race to the bottom, and everyone feels the squeeze. It's not your fault. It's a rational choice in an irrational market. The system is forcing people to make compromises that would have seemed unthinkable a generation ago. There's a growing mismatch between the skills we're taught and the jobs that are actually available. Technology, automation, and globalization have all played a role, shifting the types of jobs on offer and the skills they require. Meanwhile, companies benefit, getting highly skilled workers for bargain prices. This keeps labor costs low, but it also means talent is wasted and ambition is stifled. The result? A disengaged workforce, wasted potential, and a sense of frustration that's hard to shake. Productivity suffers, and so does innovation. This isn't just an individual problem, it's a societal one. When so many people are underemployed, it drags down the entire economy and erodes trust in the system. We've created a generation of talent with nowhere to go. But it doesn't have to stay this way. Historically, the job market has always evolved. In the past, new industries created new opportunities. Think of the tech boom of the 1990s or the manufacturing surge after World War II. The future could bring new chances too, if we invest in retraining, lifelong learning, and policies that match education with real-world demand. If we adapt, advocate for fairer hiring, and rethink what work means, we can build a job market that values everyone's potential. The new normal doesn't have to be permanent. Let's talk about burnout, the constant anxiety, the pressure to always be on. It's not just a personal failing, it's a widespread epidemic. Dr. Emily Chen, a workplace psychologist, explains that burnout is the predictable outcome of environments that demand more than people can sustainably give. The gig economy and contract work replaced stable jobs with constant uncertainty. Take Sarah, a freelance designer who says, "I never know if I'll have enough work next month. It's exhausting." You're a resource, not an employee, disposable and replaceable. According to HR consultant Mark Rivera, turnover is built into the business model. This insecurity keeps wages down and workers compliant. Studies show real wages have barely budged in years, even as productivity rises. Burnout isn't just tiredness, it's emotional and mental exhaustion from relentless pressure. The World Health Organization now classifies burnout as an occupational phenomenon. We're told to fix it with self-care, but you can't meditate your way out of a broken system. As Dr. Chen notes, self-care is a band-aid, not a cure. The problem isn't your inability to cope, it's the system itself. Consultant Priya Singh says, toxic work cultures normalize burnout as ambition. And at the core is self-blame. You think you're not good enough, didn't negotiate well, or can't handle pressure. Case studies show this self-doubt is widespread. The system is designed to make you feel like its failures are your own. Experts agree, this is a feature, not a bug. It isolates you, making you believe you're the problem. But you're not. Support networks and mental health resources are crucial. This grind is the intended result of a profit-driven market. Economist Dr. Luis Ortega points out, profit comes first. Well-being is an afterthought. Recognizing this is the first step to reclaiming your well-being. Group support and open conversations can break the cycle. You're not alone in feeling this way. Together we can challenge the system and start to heal. Back in my day. But their day was a different world. Imagine graduating in the 1970s or 80s. Jobs were plentiful, and a high school diploma could land you a stable career. College was affordable, and the future felt wide open. The cost of college has exploded. A summer job used to cover tuition. Now it barely covers textbooks. In 1975, the average public college tuition was about $500 a year, less than $2,800 in today's dollars. Now it's over $10,000. Previous generations started careers with little debt. We start with a financial ball and chain. Today, the average student loan debt is over $37,000. Our parents? Many graduated debt-free. Stable, long-term jobs with pensions are mostly gone. In the past, you could work for one company your whole life and retire with a gold watch and a pension. Now, layoffs and contract work are the norm. Our parents could expect loyalty and security. Today, it's all on us. The average millennial has held 4 jobs by age 32, compared to just 2 for baby boomers at the same age. Pensions became 401ks, shifting risk to individuals. In 1980, 60% of private sector workers had a pension. Now, it's less than 4%. We're expected to manage our own retirement, with no guarantees. Wages stagnated while costs soared: housing, healthcare, education. In 1980, the median home price was about 3 times the average income. Now, it's nearly 6 times. A single income once bought a house. Now, even 2 incomes struggle. Stories of parents buying homes in their 20s sound like fairy tales to many of us. Just Work Harder ignores that our hard work buys less security. Many young people work multiple jobs and still can't get ahead. We're running faster just to stay in place. The rules changed, but the expectations didn't. And that's why comparing generations isn't just unfair, it's missing the point. After all this, it's easy to feel defeated and blame yourself. But let's pause and look deeper. It's not you. You're not lazy, entitled, or a failure. In fact, you're part of a generation that's working harder than ever, often juggling multiple jobs or side hustles just to get by. You're responding rationally to an irrational system. Take Maya, for example, a recent grad who sent out over 200 job applications before landing a single interview. Or Jordan, who started a small business after being laid off, only to face endless red tape and rising costs. Their stories aren't rare. They're the new normal. The frustration and exhaustion you feel are logical responses to a rigged game. You're not alone in this struggle. This system was built by design. Policy, corporate strategy, and cultural shifts prioritized profits over people. For decades, decisions were made in boardrooms and government offices that put shareholder value above worker well-being. Declining unions, deregulation, and precarious labor were choices that shifted risk onto workers. The rise of gig work and contract jobs means less security and fewer benefits for millions. The system works as intended, for those at the top. The wealth gap keeps growing, and those with power keep making the rules. Understanding this moves the problem from personal failure to systemic injustice. And that's where change begins. As long as we blame ourselves, we're not looking at who's pulling the levers. But when we see the bigger picture, we can start to push back. So what can you do? Connect with others, whether it's joining a union, starting a support group, or advocating for policy change. Small actions, like sharing your story or supporting local businesses, can ripple outwards. Get involved in your community, speak up for fair labor practices, and demand accountability from leaders. Real change starts with awareness and grows with collective action. Remember, you're not powerless. Together we can challenge the system and build something better. So, what now? What do we actually do with this knowledge? Seeing the system for what it is isn't the end, it's the beginning. It's the moment you stop blaming yourself and start asking bigger questions. Recognizing the problem is systemic, not personal, is the first step. But it's also a call to action. Your struggle is part of a collective experience. You're not alone. Reach out, share your story, and listen to others. The system wants you to believe in meritocracy and blame yourself. But you can choose to see through that. Seeing through that illusion is reclaiming your power. Set boundaries, protect your well-being, and remember your worth isn't defined by job titles or salaries. Rejecting self-blame is an act of rebellion and the foundation for change. Find your community, online or offline, and support each other. This isn't a call for despair, but for clarity and solidarity. Start small. Talk to a coworker, join a group, or attend a local event. When you realize your competition is in the same boat, the dynamic changes. Share resources, swap tips, and lift each other up. The system thrives on division. Our power is in unity. Talk about salaries, support labor rights, and organize for better conditions. Demand fair wages and affordable education. Sign petitions, attend rallies, and vote for policies that support working people. The path forward isn't working harder in a broken system, it's demanding a better one. Use your voice, your vote, and your network. Start by having these conversations and refusing to accept the blame. Educate yourself and others, and don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. The first step is seeing the game. The next is demanding a fair one for all. Remember, real change starts with awareness, grows with action, and succeeds with solidarity. Reflect on your own journey, support those around you, and take one step, no matter how small, toward a fairer future. The game may be rigged, but together we can rewrite the rules.